Where are we going?
Train station.
The best part of the very first train station scene is that we didn't really know what was going on either. Fred thought he was getting dropped off at a legit train station, not... It was episode 4 of season 1, and it started a full mythology of this real-life sliver of land in Idaho that's kind of lawless for the exact reasons explained later on the show. No one lives there, so there's no jury of your peers. In theory, you can get away with murder, and the Duttons have been stacking up bodies there for nearly 150 years. That becomes really relevant in season 5 as the series comes to a close, but I won't spoil that for you. Number 9 is from what I believe to be the best Yellowstone season yet, season 2. In fact, 4 of the 10 scenes on this list are from season 2. Shockingly, none of them involve the Beck brothers, who I believe to be the all-time best Yellowstone villains. You can comment below if you agree or disagree, and then please consider tapping the subscribe button if you'd like more original Yellowstone analysis. To start the season finale, we get a relatively recent flashback with a younger John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner, not Josh Lucas, helping his father up on horseback and up the ridge to a spot he chose to die in. The elder Dutton is played by Dabney Coleman. It'd actually be his final role before his 2024 death. The emotion, the pacing, is just tremendous.
Dad told me so.
Only took 90 years.
Chris Stapleton's Daddy Doesn't Pray Anymore is used to set the mood, and that's a pretty bold choice because if used incorrectly, it could be kind of sappy or a little over the top. Instead, we hear senior John Dutton at his most vulnerable, revealing new family details.
I miss your mother. And your brother. God damn it.
Ah, you see, John Dutton has a brother. That was an Easter egg that didn't really hatch until season 5 with a scene that checks in at number 5 on our list. Find all the time codes below. One final note about this scene is that after Coleman died, Costner paid tribute to him on social media with a note that talked about how heart-wrenching the scene was to film and watch. And this quote, "What an honor to have gotten to work with Dabney Coleman. May he rest in peace." Prepare for whiplash in 3, 2... I love this scene because it shows the lengths Taylor Sheridan will go to provide original drama. He actually got this idea from actor Forey J. Smith, who plays Lloyd on the show. Apparently in real life, he really had to get a bull out of a bar. It's set up by a bar fight that finds the men of Yellowstone getting their butts kicked. Rip's pretty pissed, so he comes up with this crazy plan, figuring that the guys who roughed up his men will come running out of the bar and they can beat him up with baseball bats. Yeah, that works out pretty well. It's a really good fight scene and sort of unifies the bunkhouse, which proves to be so important throughout seasons 2 and 3. Number 7 also involves wild animals and Beth. That's Beth Dutton on her date with Rip. She had turned him down when he suggested a music festival, later saying that he needed to recommend a date that's more her style. So he says, let's go get drunk and watch wolves eat a dead elk in the park, and that works because she's Beth. She chooses to scare off the wolves. It's crazy and kind of romantic, but it also planted the seeds for one of television's great, if unconventional, love stories. It all starts right here for Beth and Rip. There are 3 scenes from season 4 on this list, including the epic fight between Lloyd and Walker in the horse ring. As far as fights go, it's the most exhausting, but it was all set up by scenes like this.
You wanna dance, old man?
And this. And this. The reason for the fight? A girl. Specifically this girl. Laramie comes between them. Spoiler alert, Walker gets the girl, and he actually married her in real life. Eventually, Lloyd is the bigger man who apologizes for his behavior in a very cowboy kind of way. That's all after he and Walker kick the crap out of each other. Halfway done, take a deep breath and prepare for the final 5, which includes 2 iconic death scenes, a historic gunfight, an epic shaming, and another really touching John Dutton moment. Big thanks to everybody who's already chosen to subscribe to get regular content like this about Yellowstone, 1923, and more. We'll pick up episode recap videos soon, and very soon pick back up with the Dutton Rules podcast. You can learn all about that in the description section below. I've also included a link on how to get your own Dutton Rules train station t-shirt. Okay, here's number 5. This Yellowstone scene is probably the most controversial pick on this list of the show's best.
My father got white as a ghost, looked at my mother and said, "Peter lived a perfect life."
It's the only clip from season 5. If we're being honest, I thought about including that fight between Beth and Summer, but I just cannot justify Summer on a Yellowstone top 10 list at this point.
All he saw of this planet was you, and all he knew was you loved him.
The scene between Monica and John is also symbolic of what makes this show so much more than just a modern Western gunfight. Parallels between this scene and the one involving John Dutton and his father are hard to ignore. John even refers to his brother, Peter, just like his dad did. We learned that Peter Dutton lived for 18 hours due to a very weak heart. I'm a parent, so his perfect lifeline, that hits. Costner's unique ability to show sensitivity without losing grit is why he was so perfectly cast for the role of John Dutton. It's moments like this that elevate the show to great, not just good. It remains to be seen if more will come from this moment, but we do know because of this conversation, Monica chose to move forward with her life after losing her baby boy in a car wreck.
Beth, we're closed at the moment.
Where is she?
The 4th best Yellowstone scene also includes Monica, a character fans have really started to appreciate more as the seasons have passed.
I remember when you gave out hand jobs for lunch money, Veronica. That was before the boot job.
The boutique scene is Beth Dutton at her best, or her worst. I'm really not sure. I can't show you the best parts of this scene because it involves a fair bit of nudity. Family show over here, guys. Although, who's watching Yellowstone with young children around?
You're lucky she has a conscience.
With just a few words, Beth undermines the police department and forever tarnishes the reputation of Veronica, the boutique owner. Revenge, when deserved, is so sweet. If the show has taught us nothing, it's that. I still don't know if Garrett Randall deserved this kind of revenge. In fact, let's start that conversation. Comment below if you think Jamie was right to shoot his birth father at the end of season 4, or did he just kill the only man who ever really cared for him? In so many ways, he was honorable.
Don't you let those f***ing Duttons deceive you into thinking you're a bad man. You're a good man, son.
There was just that one little bugaboo about, trying to kill all the Duttons to end season 3.
I love you too, Dad.
After this, Beth blackmails Jamie, trying to dump the body at the train station, and that shows up in a pretty big way for season 5. The character Jamie is sometimes whiny and annoying, but Wes Bentley's acting in big moments is tremendous. Another example of this is when he has to kill the journalist in season 2. He does desperation very, very well. I'll never forget this iconic moment. The 4th and final scene from season 2 is the office attack on Beth Dutton. I'd say this is the #1 scene that people point to when they say the show goes too far, although that time Walker cut the brand off Wade Morrow was pretty bad too. It doesn't top this, however. The Beck brothers hired hitmen who underestimated Beth and Rip, who comes storming in and takes 2 gunshots to the gut before ripping one of the attackers to shreds. Afterward, he tells Beth he loves her. Aww. And then they go hang the dead bodies outside of Malcolm Beck's house. Either way, I found myself thinking about this scene for days afterward. Last one, and it's here I encourage you to share a scene you think I missed in the comments. Number 11 was probably the bikers scene, although a great scene with John, the tourists, and a grizzly bear certainly checks in with an honorable mention. Flashback scenes like Jamie taking Beth to get an abortion, or the flashback scene where James Dutton is killed also deserves some mention, if you agree or disagree. Let me know. Let's start the conversation. The best Yellowstone scene of all time was also the biggest. At over 10 minutes long, it's the opening sequence of season 4. This tells the full story of the 4-prong attack on the Duttons and Casey's quest to hunt them all down. Tate kills a man. The Wranglers kill a bunch of dudes. John Dutton uses his own blood to describe the van that led the attack. And Beth was blown up and walked out looking like a total badass. Listen, you can argue about the other 9, and maybe I did get a little sappy with the John and Monica conversation, but number 1 is number 1. I'm Billy Dukes for Taste of Country. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing.